Welcome. We are at DC Beer across social media. This is the DC Beer Show. Happy holidays. Brandy, what are you drinking this lovely winter evening?
Oh my, Jake. Let me tell you the things that I'm drinking. I was drinking an Albemarle Cider, beautiful Ragged Mountain, which I'm double fisting technically. But I am actively drinking for my beer selection, Lost Generations, Dying Moons, and Shadows. And this beer speaks to my soul. If my soul could speak, it would be this beer. It is, and Jake and I, before we started recording, we were talking about how this batch is just, chef's kiss, amazing.
Mwah.
I don't know how it's slightly different. Usually when you drink it on draft at Lost Gen, you just want to sit there and drink it for 8 hours straight. And then when it's canned, it still tastes good, but you don't quite get the richness or the fullness of it. And something about how they did it in the cans this time really crushed it. And I'm so excited because we'll get to be pouring this weekend on Saturday, tomorrow. So you'll hear more of that later on in the episode. Mr. Stein, my faves, how you doing? What you drinking?
I'm doing great, Brandy. I am doing as you are doing, double fisting. What I'm told in England is called double parking.
Is that 3 stars?
I've got a barley wine, and wassail, red is our cheeks, brown is our ale. I've got a brown ale from 3 stars, gone but not forgotten.
Yo.
Massive shout out to Mike McGarvey, to Lynn, to Nigel, to Meth, of course, our good friends, 3 stars alumni, if you will. So yeah, I'm having some brown ale. Jake, what are you enjoying?
I am no longer double fisting, but I went with a 1-2 punch, and I started with Left Hand's Belgian White, which they are now doing with their Nitro widget.
Oh.
And so just give that a hard pour straight down. You don't get the carbonation you do with wits, and so that's a little unusual, but it brings up this weird creaminess, these banana clovey esters. Really well done. And as we all know, Ro from Blue Jacket came to us in DC from Left Hand. Left Hand for Nitro Stouts. They're going to Nitro all the things, and I'm pretty cool with that. But then, because it's winter, I had to switch over to Port City Colossal 5. It's a rebrew of their old ale. It's got a lot of that Dickensian, God bless each and every one of us, figgy pudding, very, very rich, dark fruits, a little bit of treacle, as the British like to say. Very nicely done. Richard, super producer from Tennessee. Hey, what are you drinking?
The Abandoner.
Oh, no.
But you know what? I respect you because I'm jealous because you look so rested, like you haven't been sitting in DC traffic for 8 hours a day.
I have not. I am drinking a chocolate stout, 10%, but I can't remember the brewery because I picked this up the other day in a growler from the Kroger down the street because the Kroger down the street sells flights and growlers of craft beer.
Richard.
What?
You're in the South. Can you get a crowler of Duke's mayonnaise?
Oh, actually, North Carolina Brandy's eyebrow perked up real quick. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, we all just went,
yeah, sandwich.
I gotta look into the mayo. But no, seriously, there is a beer and wine bar in the Kroger down the street from our house.
Richard, you are a true Southerner because instead of saying Kroger down the street, you say the Kroger. That's what Southerners do. We say, oh yeah, the Kroger down the street.
He's assimilating.
Kroger.
Hey, I'm a true Southern boy. I was born and raised in Alabama.
Oh, that's true. Never mind. I know. I was about to be proud of you, but
I lived the first 21 years of my life in the great state of Alabama. But this is a delicious beer. It's 10%. I can't remember. I thought it was Monday night, and then I went to the Monday night website to get more info, and it was like, wait, it's not Monday night. So hopefully by the next show, I'll know. By the next episode, I'll have found that out. I'll talk to Andrew, the beer buyer at the Kroger, who's my new best buddy in town. He tells me where all the good beer is.
Shout out to the Kroger down the street.
Hey, you know what I want to find out? I want to find out what Jordan's drinking tonight.
Jordan!
Hey.
Oh, shit.
Hello, friends.
What
Hello,
a
friends.
lovely surprise.
It worked out.
It did. You know why? Because we've been chit-chatting. We've been chitting and a-chatting about the Krogers down the street with Andrew. Love Andrew. I don't even know him, but I love. Can we call him Andy? So it could be Andy and Brandy.
Jordan, we don't want to put
Yes.
you on the spot. But first, what's in your glass? And second, defend your undeserving college football team, who should not be in the playoff whatsoever, having
I don't know if
gotten blown out by Texas.
Oh
At
wow.
home.
Okay.
At home.
So we're gonna do a number of things right here. First and foremost,
Yes.
I'm just gonna do the quick layup between. I'm gonna do other half instead of this necro synth whatever from a droid, just because it looks weird. So we're gonna go Lab Nightmare. And my team, they deserve to be in the playoffs because when you beat the two-time reigning national champions, on top of the fact that when you have the greatest coach that ever lived, on top of the fact that our quarterback unfortunately did not break his leg, we deserve to be to get our chance to play on my birthday, might I add, and I hope we win. So that is the defense rests.
That Brandy, Lost Gen, Sunday. What's happening?
Y'all, Sunday at Lost Gen is going to be quite lovely, magical, even maybe. DC Beer is hosting the Makers Market that day. Thank you to Lost Gen for hosting and providing the most delicious beer. We have a bunch of different vendors. We have 2 vintage vendors, myself included. My lovely friend, Jen Pape, who they make the best earrings in the whole wide world that I wear pretty much every day of my life. And I get endless compliments on them. And I have everyone else hooked on these earrings, by the way. Everyone's like, where'd you get those earrings? It's like, my friend Jen makes them. And so anyway, so get some earrings from Jen. They are cool. Mm-hmm. We have Ravenhook Bakehouse. As all of you know, Chris. We love Chris. Chris will be selling his yummies. We have Calisea Whisperer. She makes a bunch of cool embroidery plant themed decorations, and it's so cool. Very nerdy. We have my friend from Streetcar 82, Danny, making homemade dog treats with spent grain. And actually, the batch that she's bringing to Lost Gen that day is made with the Lost Gen spent grain, which is really swell. We have art by Janelle Jordan. We have words by DJ. We have Hemp Kettle Tea. We have Bradshaw Hot Sauce, which I love. God, I love their hot sauce. They're made out in Virginia. We have the Capitol Flower Fairy. It's going to be lovely. And then there's beer. So please come out and join us. And it's going to be a big, busy weekend for me. I know Jake and I are going to be partying on Saturday. What are we doing, Jake?
We're going to be going over to Metrobar for the 12 Beers of Christmas. I think, Mike, we might see you there. Jordan, you're invited. And we're going to be pouring 8 beers in bottles and cans. Clap your hands. Jared's going to be pouring Brandy's aforementioned Czech Dark Lager. And we'll be pouring Tidings, Kegnog from Old Ox, among others.
Come drink the 12 Beers of Christmas with us. And Jake and I are definitely going to be there behind the bar, rocking out and pouring and shooting the shit with you guys. So it'll be fun.
We got spice beer. We got Belgian spiced ale. We have winter ale with ginger. We have imperial spiced ale. We have Belgian style blonde ale, porter, spruce tip lager, saison, doppelbock, double IPA, IPA brewed with pecans, cinnamon, and maple syrup. Come on down. We can't wait to see you at Metrobar.
Love that.
That beer list sounds outstanding. But I have 2 things that I think will make it better, especially thinking of Brandy. Any Rauch beer or any brown ales there? Or just everything but?
We have Cool Breeze, which is an oatmeal stout. So not technically a brown ale, but it drinks kind of like a brown ale. So,
okay.
Yeah.
It's very malty. It's very chocolatey. It's very velvety. smoothie, beer flavored beer. You're gonna love it. Cool breeze. Come try some.
Cool.
I might just, rock my winter coat and stuff a few Rauch beers in my pockets. So wherever we're going for the after party, yeah. When I let the Rauch beer get to a good, 60, 70 Fahrenheit, we'll have some warm Rauch beer.
And there will be a brown ale there in the form of Port City. No, sorry, not Port City. Right Proper's Hoxton Porter, which is a brown ale. Granted, a porter, but it's an ale. It's brown. It's delicious, and they're gonna have a coffee variant either at Shaw or at Brookland. So you should check those out. We're gonna be on the Met Branch Trail, Met Beer Trail, all weekend long.
I am so excited. I hope to see all of you, although I know it's kind of an odd day and during the week, I guess, but especially for some of you Virginia dwellers and Maryland dwellers, Jordan and Mike. And obviously the Tennessee guy is probably not going to make it. But I'm hoping that the rest of you guys can come. If you haven't heard about the good word, DC Beer, we have a Patreon. And we have cool members who have joined our Patreon, and we continue to have really cool people who join our Patreon. And our Patreon members get a lot of perks and discounts at places like the Arlington Brew Shop in Port City and DC Brau. But this coming week on the 20th, so Wednesday, we are going to be yet again at Lost Generations. And Ann and Jared over there have offered us, the DC Beer crew and members, a very lovely / steep discount happy hour. So it's only for our members, but they're giving us the first round on the house, but then giving us bigger than an industry discount that night. We have a whopping 20% off of our bill. So even if you join Patreon just for like a couple of months or a month, which you should do it longer than that, it would pay for itself within one night, to be honest. So if you are privy to the good news, you should come join us that night. We're going to go from 5:30 until, Anne actually said we can go until we close the bar down. So happy hour after happy hour time frame is going to happen on the 20th. So get your livers ready for Christmas and stuff. Like, you got to prepare somehow, right, guys?
So Stein, I see you're double parking, and I raise you a good old-fashioned British lock-in at Lost Generation, the 20th.
Right then, there's nothing illegal about it. It's a closed shop. The pub is closed. Come on down for the lock-in.
I'm happy to hear that it's not traditional happy hour hours, because I'll be at the Hayes Factory in Ivy City, and I'll be on the anchor leg for that Wednesday.
Yeah.
So no excuses for folks saying, "Oh, I won't get there until late." Okay, well, you can drink with me. I'm fun, and I drink beer too. So there we have it.
Yeah, she said as long as a DC beer person is there, the discount goes until one of us leaves. So I might tap out at like 9 to go to bed, but
we'll do a nice little baton transfer, just like a track meet. Just stick
as long as you decorate the baton like Christmassy or something. Yeah, you're gonna wrap it in wrapping paper. So thank you to Ann and Jared. You guys are the best. And we're so thankful for all of our beer friends, all of our friends over at NRG, and at all the other local breweries. We love you guys. So Thank you for always giving DC Beer a reason to be around.
One of those local breweries is DC Brau. Mike Stein.
Aren't they the oldest brewery?
Yeah.
Tuning in to the oldest production or packaging brewery in Washington, D.C. And I'm here with Alex Spencer, head brewer of DC Brau Brewing. How are you, Alex?
I'm doing just fine.
Well, Alex, tell our listeners who may not be familiar with you, who you are, how long you've been with DC Brau, and how long you've been brewing.
Well, I've been at Brau since summer of 2018 when I joined the production crew. I took over the barrel program not long after that. So a lot of the the barrel beers that have come out in recent years have been kind of my projects. And then I've been more or less at the reins for about the last 2 years. And I started brewing back in 2010. So been around the block for a while.
You've been at it for a while. Yeah. And followers, who are on our Patreon or Patreon supporters, they've got some bonus content from us, but even just regular readers of the site know we've had a good bit of coverage devoted to the new public, the new corruption, and Jake was kind enough to get some interview with you, get some interview with Brandon. But more seasonally appropriate, I wanted to ask you about Holiday Ginger. Holiday Ginger is a beer that we DC Beer will be pouring at Metrobar tomorrow, December 16th from 2 to 5. Metrobar has the 12 beers of Christmas, and DC Brau's Holiday Ginger will be there. Alex, tell us a little bit about Holiday Ginger.
So Holiday Ginger was actually a beer that we, I guess, came up with the concept kind of for the export market with the plan to send it overseas. So we brought it out first last fall around this time. I don't think we ever actually ended up exporting any of it. It all stayed in the local markets. Our goal was, sort of a winter warmer, rich and malty with a, pronounced sort of holiday spice character. So we brought it out last year and sort of spiced it all ourselves. Earlier on this year, one of our maltsters gave us a little sample of something new that they had come up with. It's Belgo malt out of Belgium. I guess they have a small little line they call the Creative Series, and they had it was a gingerbread cookie infused malt where they infused ginger and cinnamon and other baking spices into the malting process itself. They sent us a little sample, and we smelled it, tasted it, and said, this belongs in Holiday Ginger. So we kind of took what we did last year and kind of rebuilt it around this gingerbread cookie malt.
So that went into the updated batch. That's one of the tweaks from last year.
Yep. So just a lot of, ginger, cinnamon, baking spices, very much that gingerbread character. And then we, top it off with a bunch of molasses and then added a bunch of ginger of our own.
Oh, wow.
And then, top it up in the fermenter with just a little bit of vanilla.
So was that a huge pain in the rear during brew day? Is it a massive pain in the ass to grate the ginger or incorporate that? What's the hardest part of brewing this beer?
All things considered, relatively simple. Molasses is a little bit of a pain to pour, but you heat it up a little bit and it pours just fine. And, fortunately the ginger settles in the whirlpool pretty easily.
Yeah. I love the concept of an export beer intended for the export market, but didn't leave DC and is now, in fact, I'm told only in DC. I was asking about it in Northern Virginia, and it seems like it's only in the district. So if you haven't gotten tickets, come see us at Metrobar tomorrow. Come try Holiday Ginger from DC Brau. Alex, you've kind of came on as barrel manager, managing all these barrels in the warehouse, and you've certainly done a number of experimental projects. I was talking with our editor, Jake Berg, earlier tonight, and he wanted me to ask you about Wake Up in the Future, specifically a beer that is very strong, very robust. I could be wrong, but if my math is right, it's 3 times the strength of Holiday Ginger. If Holiday Ginger is 5%, maybe Wake Up in the Future is a 15% stout. Is that?
It varies a little bit depending on the year. We measure it every year, and depending on, how much alcohol we picked up from the barrels that it went into, it's varied over the years from 13 and change to 15 and change. This year's barrels measured at an even 15%. So you're correct. Wow. 3 times as strong as the Holiday Ginger.
That's amazing. So it's been, has it been 5 years that you've been making that beer since you came on in 2018?
I think we were releasing the first one around when I started. So that was a previous brewer who's no longer with Brau had started that, but I kind of took the reins from there on out. But it's I think 2018 or 2019 was the first year we released. And then this year we're doing something a little bit different, and rather than putting it in cans, we're actually bottling it, and that's giving us the opportunity to do some variants as well. So in addition to the normal bottles that we've got in the tap room, this weekend we'll have a coffee variant, and then we've got a cocoa and vanilla variant in the works as well, and may try a couple of other things to be determined.
Yeah. Oh, that's super exciting. So there'll be this year the 2023 edition, but then there'll also be at least 2 variants, a coffee and some coconut, a fruited variant.
It's like hot cocoa and vanilla.
Hot cocoa and vanilla sounds lovely with the 15% rich, chocolatey, velvety, smooth stout. I love it. So is this then the first year that there have been variants for Wake Up in the Future, the big stout?
It is, yeah.
That makes sense. It's a brand that it's kind of like a sleeper because it comes out, it does well in the market, and then it does well all year. And I have a joke with Julie, who's the owner from the brew shop, and everybody busts her chops about, oh, it's porter season. We just had our first snow. It's porter season. And her whole thing is like, porter season is 52 weeks out of the year. And I like to think the same. Obviously, not every occasion calls for a 15% ABV stout. But if you're born in the summer, if your birthday is in August, like me, it's a great occasion to crack a stout, even 15 ABV. So that's super exciting. We're really pumped for the Wake Up in the Future variants. That's awesome. What projects or one-offs, experimental beers, things coming down the pike that you are interested in that you can tell us about?
Well, here's a fun one. So I participated with a Brewers Association delegation to the United Kingdom over the summer and brewed a brown ale with a brewery in London. And then a couple of weeks ago, that brewer swung by DC, so we brewed up a little hazy IPA that'll go in the continuing resolution line. And that will be getting canned tomorrow, and should be available really soon. It's tasting great.
Oh, I love it. So you were in England, you were in London brewing a brown ale, and then the London brewer came to DC, and you brewed some pale ale,
hazy IPA.
IPA.
It kind of runs full circle, because that's what this brewery in London is known for, is their hazies.
Yeah, I saw this. There was a wonderful podcast that was done across the pond, and you were on there with the interviewers, and Lottie Peplow was there from the BA. And I said, Alex brewed this brown ale, so I am now having 3 stars Imperial brown ale can that's got about 2 years, maybe more on it.
I was going to say, how's that holding up?
It is not terrible by a long shot. It's actually quite nice. So September 2021. So certainly should have been consumed by September last year. But here we are. 2 Septembers passed. It's really pretty decent, all things considered. Which kind of harkens back to Wake Up in the Future. I had a can of 2019, 2020, and those beers are still really drinking well, which is remarkable because I think they may be unavailable, from a consumer perspective. You may not be able to buy 2019, which is now, like a 4-year-old beer, soon to be a 5-year-old beer.
Yeah. I mean, we hold on to and cellar a good bit of the old stuff. So I don't know how much 19 we have left. If we have any left, we often do a mixed vertical pack in the tap room.
Yeah, which is a great investment. And every time that's on offer, I grab a pack. And typically I wind up wishing I had gotten more than one 4-pack. That's usually, but I'm Sisyphus pushing the rock up the hill, doomed to repeat my mistakes. So, Alex, this is super exciting. We can't wait to try the hazy pale ale, the hazy IPA with the London brewer, and we've got cans of Wake Up in the Future and the variants. Anything else you care to share with our audience before we wrap?
Well, anybody who's been down to any of the IMP venues, Anthem, 930 Club, hopefully will have tried the IMPA and the IM Pilsner. I know we're really excited to have those beers in all those venues.
Yeah, we first covered the beers in the spring, I think, maybe early summer when that news was coming out. How are those beers doing? How are they tasting? Are they to your liking?
Oh, they're tasting great, and they're moving very, very well.
That's wonderful news. Well, Alex Spencer, thank you so much for joining us here on the DC Beer Show.
Yep, thanks for having me.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Alex.
Mike Stein, I love you and miss your face. I'm glad that I saw you at our last beer share. Rest in peace, District Made. But
same, Brandy, same. And we will keep on drinking District Made Spirit and 3 Stars beer. And everybody who's gone but not forgotten, as we continue to hold it down, to keep the flame alive for beer culture in the District of Columbia, as well as our tri-state surrounding environs in the DMV. And you can't see Brandy right now, but she is swagged out with her DC beer beanie. If you join us on Patreon, you know that we have some wonderful merch on the site. You get bonus content. Check us out on Patreon. Check out the web shop on dcbeer.com. We'd love to see you at the next share, at the next event. Come see us at the market. Come see us at Metrobar. We can't wait to have a beer with you and tell you all about it.
Cheers.
Cheers all. Be excellent.
Cheers.
Be well to each other. And we're back at it soon. Happy holidays. Do your shopping. And do it on the Met Beer Trail.
Prost.